Hi, this is Fabian Mantine of the Fullness in Body Mission International. With such a wide variety of angles, you can cook anywhere in the world, wherever the Lord's sun shines. Mr. Jim LaJoy's all-season solar cooker is truly a masterpiece. Watch, because you're about to learn how to become a solar chef. Firstly, it needs to have this octagonal shape that you see here in front of you. That means it shouldn't look like that, and it shouldn't look like that either. But what you'd want is that this dimension, from this side to that, is about 60 centimeters, and that should be equal to this dimension, 60 centimeters. If you ensure that, then you've got the right shape and you know that you're going to get 100% accuracy out of this cooker of yours. The next thing we got to talk about is this. Now, when you start cooking, it's a good idea to start early in the day so you can make full use of the solar opportunity. We're putting it now on the winter base. And this will give us a focus of the sun from the sunrise position right up to 50 degrees elevation. When the sun rises too far beyond this point, we're going to have to turn the cooker onto the summer base. Now the summer base will allow us to cook from an elevation of 40 degrees right up to an elevation of 90. So now you've learned about the summer base and the winter base. You've learned how to lower and raise your cooker. It's time for you to learn how to focus it on the sun so you can get maximum power any time of the day. For that, we're going to use this little device right here called the Sunsight. Now, the Sunsight is a simple invention, but it is invaluable in that it helps us to focus our cooker on the sun. Right now, you can see that that stick is casting a little shadow beneath the stick and to the right of it. That tells us that our cooker is a little bit too far down and too far to the right. So I'm going to say that in plainer English. If the shadow is to the right of the stick, your cooker is too far to the right. If the shadow is to the left of the stick, your cooker is too far to the left. If the shadow is beneath the stick, your cooker is too far down. And if the shadow is above the stick, it means your cooker is too far up. Or to focus it on the sun, right now, we're going to lift up the arrays and we're going to turn the cooker to the left. Right now, we've got no more shadow cast on it. See, in this position, we are ensuring 100% focus of the sun, provided that we have assembled our cooker with the correct octagonal shape that it requires. You've learned how to focus on the sun. But say that you'd like to advance the cooker a little bit so that you don't have to continuously monitor it. If you'd like to advance the cooker, because it's the morning, the sun's going to rise and it's also going to move towards the left. So if we want to advance the cooker a little bit ahead of the sun, we're not just going to get rid of that shadow, we're also going to continue turning it a little bit to the left, because the sun's moving to the left, and a little bit higher up, because the sun is rising. And right there, we've got about 90 minutes of cooking time. When the sun rises and turns, it's going to eliminate the shadow. And in about 90 minutes from now, it's going to cast the shadow on the other side of the stick. And then depending on the time of day, we're going to decide whether we lift it or lower it. But we're also going to turn it further to the left as the sun moves to the left. In the northern hemisphere, you'd move your cooker to the right. Now when it comes to cookware, you can't get better than this. Let's start with the outside. This is just a clear glass bowl. And this here is going to make sure that all the light that comes into the vessel is going to stay there. It's not going to bounce out again. This is going to keep the heat locked into your chamber. If you don't have a glass dish to fit around your pot, you can always start solar cooking using a clear plastic bag. The next thing, which is actually the most important, is that you have a matte black pot with a matching lid. Essential. Don't forget that. You need a dark colored pot because this will absorb all the rays of the sun and convert it into heat. This is the heat engine of your cooker. So a nice matte black pot like this. If you don't have a black pot, you can always paint it like this one has, or you can even burn it black. Rub some cooking oil on the outside, put it in the fire, and it'll turn black. Plastic handles are best removed. Finally, on the inside of our chamber, we've got this here, which is actually our trivet. Now the trivet is just something that will lift up the pot off the ground. You don't want your pot to be sitting on the base of the cooker. You want to have it raised up, ideally between 5 to 10 centimeters off the ground. And this here is going to make sure that all the light that comes in through the bowl is going to reflect off the ground and come to the bottom of your pot. It's especially important if you're looking at baking, because you want that heat not just from the top, but from the bottom. You can use a clear glass or metal trivet, or even make your own using low gauge wire. Put it either inside or outside your cooking chamber. Your first time solar cooking, I'd recommend something simple. Start with rice. It's a perfect way to begin your solar cooking experience. Solar cooking is not difficult, but it is a skill, much like riding a bicycle or playing an instrument. It might not be difficult, but you can get better at it, and there is a degree of experience that you need to be able to do it. When you start with something like rice. Rice is perfect because it cooks fast and it allows you the opportunity to see when it's cooked or not, simply by observation. Other great foods to start with are vegetables, like carrots or beetroots. If you make a mistake, you can't go wrong with it. That food does not spoil easily. Try not to overload the pot and use less water than you normally would. Your cooking chamber keeps the moisture locked in. Choose a nice, clear, sunny morning with little to no cloud coverage or wind. Lay your cooker out on a flat surface. You can use a table if you like. Insert your cookware and track the motion of the sun as best you can. Turn over to the summer base when you need to. most importantly, with solar cooking, remember to relax, to have fun, and to be patient. You will get a lot of food out if you are.